Is it possible to plan for creativity? It all starts with imagination. It's this perfect and extraordinary thing that we all take for granted every day. The ability to see something that isn't actually present. It's what makes us different from the rest of the life on this planet. Pablo Picasso said that every child is born an artist, but along the way somewhere he loses that artistic ability. Now, if you were to look at yourself right now and compare yourself to an 8-year-old version of you, you've obviously changed a lot. You're a lot taller right now. But if you were to look at the way you did things then versus now, you'd see that the one thing that's absent today is a daily routine. We ate, slept, did our homework, everything according to a schedule that our parents decided for us. Now, people associate creativity with being completely free and unstructured, kind of like running around the room and hoping that inspiration will strike. But if you were to look at the lives of some of the greatest artists or composers down the years, you'd see that there is enough evidence to support the fact that a daily routine has helped them along the way. Now, psychologists have analyzed the situation any which way, and I did a little bit of reading myself on some of the routines, and some of them were a little different. So one of them was Beethoven, who would wake up every morning and count exactly 60 beans to make his coffee every morning. But my favorite was Benjamin Franklin. He'd wake up in the morning, go to his rooftop, and take what he liked to call an air bath, which was basically him sitting up there naked for an hour. Now, although that would be some of the weirder things that they all did, there were some common traits that could be observed in some of these people's routines. And mind you, I've looked at artists, I've looked at composers, I've looked at philosophers, and I'm going to talk about two of them that sort of stood out to me personally. The first one was be a morning person. Heights that great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, went toiling upward in the night. I'm not sure whose quote that is exactly, but I'm pretty sure it comes from a time when we didn't have Red Bull or 5-hour energy. Now, for me personally, I'm a morning person, so I want to look more at the people who were morning people. And again, I was surprised to find that most of the artists were morning people. Very few of them actually worked at night. So the one person who I remember was Ernest Hemingway, who was quite famous for his fondness for alcohol. And even despite drinking through the night, if he could get any sleep, he would be up at 5:30 a.m. every day. Now, psychologists have analyzed and come to the conclusion, and they've given rather charming terms to these people. They're called, you're either a morningness person or an eveningness person. And according to them, neither is better than the other. But they did come to the conclusion that morning people tend to be more happy, while night owls are more intelligent. So pick your poison. Now, waking up early in the morning is somewhat of a necessity for most of us, because it comes with balancing any creative project that we want to do with an actual day job. Most of these artists didn't actually have day jobs. Their art was their job. But for us as individuals, we'd want to balance, find some sort of balance where we do get to work, but at the same time get to work on our projects as well. Now, the second point that was pretty common with all of them was taking a walk. And there was no fixed time of the day to take the walk, but almost all of them took a short walk during the day. And Beethoven, for example, would take a walk after lunch, and he would take a pencil and a piece of paper with him. And he believed that inspiration would strike at any point, so he was always prepared. And another thing that it's actually quite interesting right now for us, because in today's day and age, when you take a walk, you're sort of removing yourself from an environment that's full of distractions. Computer screens, television, you're leaving all that behind, and you're moving out into a world where you can be with your thoughts alone. There are no distractions. I'm not sure if I considered the cell phone, but I suppose I'd leave that back at home as well. So basically, there is no one routine that leads to artistic genius. All of them were different. There were some common elements, but all of them were very different. It's about recognizing what ticks for you as a person. It could be anything. It could be working at night. It could be taking an air bath. It's up to you. But the important thing to realize is that no matter what you do, creativity is going to be part of your life. You could be a teacher. You could be an engineer. You could run a family. Creativity is something that is all around us, and having a daily routine would definitely help bring that creativity out in most of us. And I'd like to close by saying that you can't be creative if you don't do something. Thank you.